Hey, what's up YouTube? Waltz Out Tuesday and Reviews. I wanted to make a really quick video on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 versus the Apple iPad Pro. And there's tons of videos out there on that, but you're never going to get an answer of which one's the best. It's really about you and what you like and what you're going to use it for. There isn't really much information from the business perspective. I know there's a lot of businesses that are going to be considering this. That's the situation that I was in, and I just wanted to give that perspective. Maybe you'll think of something you weren't thinking of, and I know there's just a lot of people that are in my situation, so hopefully this helps you make a decision. I'm not going to go over everything. I'm just going to go over the key points that were important to me and what ultimately made my decision. Now, one thing you might not be thinking about is many tablets don't have nice cameras. These ones do, and the reason I only was deciding between these two tablets was because they had the ultra-wide camera. So for my particular business, we have a confined amount of space, trying to take a picture of a big thing. Sometimes you have to take 3-4 pictures to get it. Now with the ultra-wides, I can get it in one picture, and that was like, I have to have it. So I'm going to go 4 things, going to rate them. I would say cameras are equal. They both do a good job. I'll show you a little screenshot here. Here's what it looks like normal. Here's the ultra wide. They're the same to me. I'm not going to say one is over the other. So it's a tie there when it comes to the cameras. Okay, so that kind of goes into my next thing is like, I didn't realize I wanted that camera until I saw it and whatnot. So I was thinking, man, I want to get a tablet that's going to stand the test of time and still be usable in 5 years. That there's not going to be some new feature that comes out for a tablet or an app or something. And I'm like, crap, I want to go get that one now. So when it comes to being built to last, I actually gave this to the iPad. Now, there's 2 main reasons why. One is just benchmark scores. iPad outperforms every other tablet, even a lot of computers. I think most people would agree with that. It just can do more at a higher performance. So if you have some labor-intensive app in the future that you need for some specific reason, you should have no worries that the iPad's going to be able to handle it and run it. Now, the second reason is actually goes back to that camera thing, that LiDAR feature. It's kind of useless right now, but I suspect in the future it's going to be very useful for reasons that we can't even think of. I know for like construction companies, it makes measuring faster and more accurate, and there's a lot of apps that use your camera to measure things that a lot of people don't use because it's not fast and it's not accurate. But once they see that this LiDAR makes it possible to be both of those things, it'll be a game changer in my opinion. The last thing I'll say about built to last that made my decision really hard is the fact that Samsung, you can actually expand the storage and Apple, you can't. I'll get into functionality in a minute, and I gave that to Samsung, but you know, being built to last later on in the future, you know, 128 gigs might seem more than enough, but all of a sudden, crap, I need more storage, and Samsung, you don't have to worry about that. So did want to mention that little side note, but I still give it to Apple in that category. And with that being said, when it comes to functionality, that was a big plus for Samsung. And when it came to functionality, I actually gave it to Samsung. Now, I did just say Apple's going to be able to handle more, but I think there's stuff that Apple can't even do. You know, it's no secret that you've always been able to do more with Android. And I'll admit, I'm an Apple user. I got an iPhone, I got an iWatch, I got a Mac, but I'm never going to make that argument. Like, Apple doesn't do as much as Android or all these other devices do. They just doesn't have the flexibility. You can argue that maybe Apple's easier to use, more intuitive. Whatever it does do, it does it better. But that's never really been up for debate. So functionality, you know, multitasking, using it as a computer with that like deck stuff and browsing the internet and having multiple windows open and moving things around, it's just, it definitely goes to Samsung. Okay, so the last 2 things, you know, let's talk about price. Let's get that out of the way. Samsung wins. Price, it's better value, it's better price. Okay, so the next thing, when it comes to business and thinking of it from a business perspective, the reason you have a tablet is you're going to present this to customers or possible customers. And in my opinion, bigger's better. And Apple just wins because it's bigger. They offer a bigger size, a 12.9 inch, which is almost just like a piece of paper. So it's very similar to handing somebody a piece of paper. Like if you're going to give them a document to sign and you give them some tiny tablet like this, you know, that could be a reason why they don't sign up, because they can't actually see it and they got to zoom in and they're like, I want to go look at this later, and you know, I want to print it off or something like that. It could be a reason why they don't move forward. Where on the iPad, you don't have to worry about that. It looks exactly like a piece of paper. They can see the whole thing at once. The pen is awesome. It's just like signing a piece of paper. So that was the 4. So let me tell you ultimately why I ended up getting the Samsung. All right, so obviously I bought both of them, but I needed to buy more, and I ended up buying more Samsung ones, and it was a tie. Presenting went to the iPad, price went to Samsung, functionality went to Samsung, but built to last went to the iPad. But the reason I went with Samsung was kind of that functionality piece. It was really just one main thing that I was worried about. Last year, when we used to look at things on the Google Drive, PDFs that had been filled out, when we'd open it on an Apple device, the stuff that was filled out would disappear. And I don't know why. I think it was some kind of glitch, some kind of coding error, but I know Android, Google, they obviously work really well together, and I'm not worried about that ever happening with a Samsung. Plus the fact that, I could get 3 Samsungs for less than the price of 2 of the 12.9-inch iPads. That made a big impact on my decision making as well. But short, sweet, to the point. I hope that makes you make a decision. Both of these devices are awesome. I would recommend both of them. They work really well. It's amazing how far technology has come these days. You're not going to go wrong with either one, and it's really just about your personal preference. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.